Hello everyone, Elkjaer here, and this is my submission for ESA Winter 2020. I'm gonna be doing any percent of Horizon Zero Dawn. So for those watching on YouTube, if you wanted to see a fully commentated run of the any percent category in Horizon, this is the video for you. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Anyway, let's get into it. So we're gonna hit new game, and then we are selecting easy. The reason why any percent is done on easy instead of story difficulty is due to a community decision. So basically, as the community, we decided to agree that because story difficulty, which is easier than easy difficulty, was added later in a patch later than release, we decided to stick with easy because first of all, story is too easy, and also just to not, as a community we decided we didn't want to switch to story difficulty, because then a lot of the runs that were done earlier in the game's life cycle was kind of obsolete. So for those reasons we decided to stick with easy as the difficulty for any percent runs. So yeah, time is gonna start as soon as we skip the first cutscene here. And of course, if you watch the New Game Plus runs, you're not used to seeing this, because this is the childhood section, which is where the game actually starts. Because in New Game Plus speedruns, we usually skip this section. Right now we are playing as Kid Aloy here. And you'll notice that I'm rolling. Well, that's because rolling is faster. And that's not only as child Aloy, it's also when we become adult Aloy that rolling is faster. The childhood section here, this is more or less just a tutorial and setting up a bit of the story. There's not really much to it here, we're just quickly gonna... You're gonna see this a lot throughout the run. We're gonna abuse the environment a lot to do skips and stuff. Because pretty much everything in this game has a hitbox, so we can just kind of jump on it. So also compared to New Game Plus, this is any percent, meaning we are gonna start from scratch, which means we don't have any weapons or anything. So we kind of have to work our way up. So even though this is on easy difficulty, it's still kind of a challenging run. Because your weapons are not as good as they would be on like New Game Plus. And also you're gonna be very under-leveled compared to you're gonna be very under-leveled compared to what you would normally be if you played through this game casually, because obviously we're just kind of going fast through it, so we're not gonna get we are not gonna get as much XP as you would if you played through the game normally. Coming up here, we finished the first section here, where we have gone through the ruin. Then we're gonna start our training with Rust here. This is more or less the tutorial section here.
See this plant over here? It's called.
So we have to follow Rust around here throughout this section here. So this is pretty much just an auto-scroller. There's not really much to it. This is usually the annoying part of any percent, and why I personally prefer New Game Plus over any percent.
Where are we?
Is the fact that you don't have to play through the childhood section. Right here, again, we're supposed to follow Rust here while he does his explaining. But we're just gonna walk up here and wait for him. Because as soon as he's done talking here, we're gonna move into that bush or the tall grass in front of us. I can't walk closer to the tall grass, because if I get too far away from Rust, he's gonna stop walking.
Their power must be respected.
So that's the reason why I'm waiting here. As soon as the objective changes, I can then move into the bush here and trigger the next section. Where we're supposed to learn how we sneak past watchers here, but we're just gonna completely ignore that and do it our own way. Right here I'm paying attention to the subtitles, because as soon as they disappear I can move on to the next tall grass without being spotted. So normally you're supposed to follow Rust's guidance here, but again, we can just skip ahead and wait for him at the end, instead of actually following his instructions. And right here again, we have to wait for him until he's done. yeah. So as you can see, it is kind of an outer scroll here in the start. We don't really have too much control over the speed we go through here. So, yeah. We rely a little bit too much on rust, but in a sec here we'll be able to move around without rust.
You did well.
As soon as the objective changes, we can move again.
Now stay close. That herd should be just
And
ahead.
we'll just walk right up here, because then we wait for rust. And he's gonna trigger a cutscene, which we then skip.
Come now. Let's find that herd. Follow.
So also another thing with any percent that I'll go into a little bit once we get into the adult section of the game, or after the childhood section here.
There.
Any percent on this game has a good amount of RNG to the run.
Why'd you chase them off?
And also the reason why I'm waiting here, you'll notice I picked up a rock. I actually have to pick up 3 rocks. But I can pick up the rocks in front of me right here, because I have to wait for rust. Because if I get too far away, rust will not move.
Now.
So that's why I only pick up that rock and then wait for rust to get close enough, allowing me to move. And then I can pick up the last 2 rocks here.
Those will do. Follow.
But yeah, I'll explain a little bit later on that this category has a bit more RNG to it. It's not run-ending RNG, most of it. There's only one thing that would, in my opinion, end the run, but the RNG can be a little bit annoying when you're trying to grind for a high time, because it definitely affects how you play. Right here, we're just waiting for Ross to kill this guy. As soon as he starts that animation, we can move on and gather the resources we need to craft arrows here, while Rust finishes off the Watcher.
Harvest the kill so I can use the
Coming up right here is going to be a little bit of a dialogue skip.
Never run out of arrows.
So I'm going to shoot this Strider as soon as Rust talks. That allows me to not have to wait for Rust, and then I can skip straight into the
Keep firing.
fight here with this Strider here. Because normally if you don't do that, you have to wait for Rust to get closer to you. But shooting the Strider there just triggers
That boy, the one running the bridge.
triggers the next part to start.
Follow, Aloy. Quick. Aloy,
Right here we are just moving ahead here. Now we don't have to follow Rust anymore. So coming up here is a little bit of a stealth section, because we have to sneak past these Watchers there. Because we can fight them, because obviously we're a kid, and we haven't really learned how to fight yet. So we're gonna use that rock to get that Watcher to turn around,
Let them see me.
and we're gonna throw a rock over here to make sure that Watcher looks away while we go behind them,
Got to be careful. I need to see
and
their
then we'll
path.
continue here,
Almost
and move
there.
behind the back on this guy, and then we should be at tip right here. The guy we're supposed to save in this section. And then we can just stealthily move up here, because these Watchers are scripted to always go the same way, so this guy will not spot us. Or if he does, it's too late, because now we're done with the childhood section. And now we're gonna move back into the adult section. So this is where normally, if you have seen the New Game Plus runs, this is where they would start. That's what you normally skip in New Game Plus. Coming up here, we're gonna learn some skills. We're gonna learn the 2 skills that helps us aim, and then we're gonna learn the lure skill here. We're not gonna use the lure skill. Oh, let me do this again. There we go. We're not gonna use the lure call, but we need to learn that entire skill tree until or before we leave the embrace. You'll notice here I'm gonna do these rolls to pick up.
What's he doing?
In this case, I pick up the wood without any animation.
What's going
There's
on?
an animation cancel you can do to pick up that wood without having the animation of Aloy physically picking it up.
would you?
Of course.
Yes.
So the way you do that is if you roll and then let go of your analog stick in the middle of the roll and press triangle to pick it up, Aloy picks up any plant without any animation. I'm gonna try to do it again here so you can see it. I got a little too far away. So that's what it looks like when you fail it, but I didn't line it up properly because trying to show it off.
The embrace.
We have another chance to do it right here.
My whole life I've never gone beyond this valley.
So right here we are gonna move,
That'll change after the prison.
we're gonna go to watch cast, and on the way we need to, as you can see, we need to get 5 metal shards and 3 blaze so we can craft some fire
I
arrows.
was cast out at birth.
So we need to kill 3 striders to get blaze,
All right.
and then we're gonna kill every watcher we see because we need a watcher
Find a
heart.
herd.
So we're gonna look for blue drops from these watchers. Greens. Oh, I got 2 with 1 slash there. I'm not gonna loot that guy because it's only a white drop. We need the blue drops because that means it's a chance that it might be a watcher heart.
A word?
The watcher heart is very important. I'll explain what it does here in a sec. Right here, I'm gonna shoot off the blaze of these guys. If I can hit him. I'll loot the watchers if they have green drops, because that might be weapon coils or weapon mods I can use to upgrade my weapons. I'll pick up the blaze and loot these guys. I got a damage coil there, which I can use to get more damage on my bow. You'll also notice that I'm using my spear here instead of using arrows. Still need another strider here. And that's because when my bow hasn't gotten any mods on it here at the start, it's just very weak, so I can't really do any damage with it. Or enough damage with it. The spear is just way more effective here at the beginning of the game. So right here we got 1 damage coil, or damage mod, whatever you want to call them. We need to get the mods so we can upgrade our bow later on, because the bow is going to be our main weapon throughout this run. So right now we have 1 damage, a green damage that is. There are 3 tiers of modifications you can get. Green is the lowest, then blue, and then purple. And purple only drops from big enemies, so preferably we want to see purples, and then blue, and then green. And we want to see damage, handling. Damage and handling are the 2 best coils we want to get. And after that we want to see freeze or fire, but primarily we want to see damage and handling, because that helps us the most with our bow.
Super careful.
Right here I'm gonna get a trip caster, because we need that. And then I'm gonna get the free sample box. So you'll notice here with the free sample box that when I loot it, you might not be able to see it because I'm doing it pretty fast, is that the free sample box has a fast travel pack in it. And that fast travel pack is obviously used to fast travel. Because in Horizon you don't actually have unlimited fast travel. You need a fast travel pack in order to be able to travel.
That carcass.
Um,
What sort of beast is that?
So we're going to be collecting those free sample boxes throughout the run in order to get fast travel packs. Because the excuse me, because the free sample boxes just always has 1 sample or at least 1 fast travel pack in them, and we can get those from the merchants. Coming up here is the sawtooth fight here.
I should stay out of sight.
The first thing we're gonna do is move over here to the right, and then we're gonna try and hit his blaze canister underneath him with a fire like that. That's gonna make him blow up and do a lot of damage. And then we're gonna hit him with strong hits here with our spear until he's dead. And that was a really beautiful fight. That was a pretty good fight.
I'll
Deal with him. And right here we get a box from completing this quest, which has 2 fast travel packs in it. It always has 2. So that's very nice to get. And the thing is, I didn't get a watcher heart while going to cast. So now I have a little bit of time here before we go into the Mother's Heart section here. So the watcher heart we need to get to buy the upgraded Shadow Hunter bow, which we're gonna get once we get to Meridian.
So,
Which is just the best bow we can get for this run.
you should be...
In order to get it, we need 650 shards, which is usually not a problem to get. But we need a Watcher heart, and that is of course a random drop from the Watchers. So we just need to get it before we cross the Karja border. So hopefully we're gonna get it there. This is the main RNG at the start of the run, is to make sure we get that Watcher heart. because otherwise we're gonna lose a lot of time in Meridian. There's a backup if you don't get the Watcher Heart, which is buying the Watcher Heart in Meridian, but that is a bit far out of the way, so you would probably lose a minute to minute and a half if you don't get a Watcher Heart. So in a regular run, I would reset if I don't get the Watcher Heart before Carja Border. Right here, you're gonna see me talk to Cast here again, because I'm gonna go into a trade and get another free sample box. So to make sure I have another fast travel pack, because we are obviously gonna be fast traveling throughout this run. In case you're wondering, we fast travel 16 times during this run. So in total, we need 16 fast travel packs.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought
anyway.
So right here, I'm just moving through Mother's Heart section here. There's not really much to it. This is just setting up story and stuff. So just going from A to B, completing the objectives here.
Start the blessing when all aspirants are in place.
Obviously, you can see when I go through a dialogue, I basically just mash the X button to skip through it, because we don't need to listen to it. We can just skip it. And now we're gonna move into the proving. So yeah, like I said, we don't have the Watcher Heart yet, so that's not the best thing in the world, but there's still a good amount of Watchers we're gonna see during the Carja Border split. So hopefully one of those guys will drop a Watcher Heart, because otherwise, like I said, we have to go out of our way to get it. And if this was a normal run, and you don't get a Watcher Heart before the Carja Border, that would be a reset. That's like one of the main RNG reset points in the beginning of the run for this category. But I would say it's only 1 in 4 to 1 in 5 times you don't get the Watcher Heart. But most of the time you do get it, so it's not like a big deal. Right here we need to kill 2 Grazers, so we're just gonna do 2 big hits. With the spear, that is enough to kill them. This time we're just gonna do 1, and then we can swing 2 small swings, because they're slightly faster to kill them. And then we can move on to the rest of the proving here. I'm gonna craft up some arrows here, because we're gonna need those for the fight coming up here. So moving through the proving here is fairly basic here. It's just following the path. There's gonna be a little bit of a skip here once we get through it here.
no way but forward now.
So the fun thing here about 80% is just how much different it is to New Game Plus. Because I like that about Horizon, because a lot of games, it doesn't really feel like New Game Plus is that different to a regular playthrough. But in Horizon, it's almost like it's a complete, or it is pretty much just a completely different run compared to the New Game Plus counterparts. So coming up here is a skip. We're gonna walk off the edge. We're gonna aim in our weapon to make sure we hit this rock on the way down. If you aim in your weapon while you're in mid-air, the game kind of slows down. So it's a little bit easier to make sure you hit the rock while falling. And then we're gonna move on to the proving fight. If you watch New Game Plus, you'll know that there is a skip you could do there on the left-hand side, but on any percent it's too risky to do, because then you would start the proving fight here with very low health, so it's not worth doing it in any percent.
Come on, you can make it. Can't let them beat me now.
So in the proving fight here, we need to hit headshots on these guys, because our bow is not strong enough for body shots. So we're just gonna try to aim at these guys when their head is completely standstill. And the animations here are very... The animations are always the same, so you pretty much know where the head is gonna be. You can see these guys, they always pretty much have the same movement here. So I can pretty much always predict where the head is gonna be, and that makes it a lot easier to line up these headshots. So this guy's gonna jump down, and then he's gonna stand completely still for a sec, allowing me to get the headshot. Same with this guy. I messed it up. So I can just swing it with my spear if I miss the shot. This guy is gonna stop and stand still. Headshot. So even though you have to hit headshots, it can be kind of easy to hit these shots, because, like I said, the enemies always do the same animations. And then craft some arrows and get some loot before the cutscene. Then we're gonna move over behind this rock here, and then we need 2 headshots on this big guy. And then 2 body shots to kill him. And then we can pick up his gun to kill all of the rest of the guys here. Just the leader. This guy is hiding. There we go. That was a little bit annoying that he was hiding. And then you can end the quest as soon as you loot the last guy there. So even though I would say it probably looks pretty impressive hitting all those headshots, it's actually a lot easier than it looks. Because the enemies are so reliable in that fight.
They must have found me before I bled out. I'm picking up
Right now we are inside the Olmo Mountain here. Not really much going on. I'll pick up our weapons, and then Tursa is here. Right here we are supposed to follow Tursa, but we can just walk to the end here and wait for her. We don't actually have to follow her. The game does give us that freedom, so if we don't want to listen to her, we can just walk here until the end. And we're gonna get our tripcaster ready, because we're gonna use that in the next fight. And also, if you look in the bottom left corner, that is my quick menu. I have my bombs ready here. Because we're gonna do a very specific strat here for the Corruptor fight that's coming up.
Please, just follow me.
Once Tursa gets to the end here, we can just skip the cutscenes here. And then we have to follow her again.
The tribe is on the brink of extinction. What happened?
Same thing here. It doesn't matter how fast you go.
A great war party was sent after the killers.
That's also the reason why I'm not rolling here. Is because it doesn't matter how fast I go, no matter what, I have to wait for Tursa, so rolling is pointless here.
Somehow they have a power over the machines, corrupting them, driving them mad.
Somebody's got away.
Now we just wait for Tursa to finish her dialogue, and then we can go out here.
As though she would not
Fun fact about this guy in front of us. If you look at his feet right now, you can see he's kind of floating
This was
a couple of centimeters in the air.
you where you were born and loose you to follow
That's a
the
weird
destiny
flex,
of
but
what
okay.
were intended for you. The other high matriarchs are waiting for us.
But to be fair, if I could float, I would do that as well.
If any
Just to assert dominance. So coming up right here, we're gonna quickly go into a craft menu and make sure we get 3 bombs here. Because we need that for the Corruptor.
We will soon begin.
As you're gonna see the strat coming up here. So this Corruptor fight is very scripted, and we're gonna use that to our advantage, because all the enemies are pretty much gonna behave the same way every time. Or the Corruptor is, at least. And for this quest, it doesn't matter about all the other enemies, you only have to kill the Corruptor. So we're just gonna set it up for a nice and easy kill on the Corruptor. Hopefully.
Ignore her.
I need
So as soon as we talk to Resh here,
if you order and
the fight is gonna start. So first we are gonna place down 3 tripwires here to make sure the Striders doesn't blow up our bombs here. Make sure there's enough spacing in between them so they don't trigger 2 at once. And then we're gonna place 3 bombs right here because the Corruptor is gonna land here. And then we're just gonna wait a little bit, and then we're gonna hit one of these.
Watch the Striders! It's driven them mad!
Okay, I did hit him. Good. I'm gonna hit one of their blaze canisters, so that blows up and does even more damage to the Corruptor. And right there I actually got a blue damage coil from the Corruptor, so that's really nice.
Threat has passed. For now.
I need to test this device.
Right here we're gonna go up to this merchant, and we're gonna get the free sample box for the fast travel pack. And we're gonna go into skills, and then we complete this skill tree here. And we're gonna go in and make sure we get the fast travel packs out of the boxes so we can use them. And then we are outside the Embrace. So people that have played the game probably were thinking, don't you have to override a Strider to leave the Embrace? Well, no. You can just whistle for one, because the skill tree we just learned allows us to whistle for a mount. And once you whistle to a mount, you're allowed to... That counts as you overriding a mount. So that means we can just leave the Embrace a lot faster like
I
that.
should try overriding other kinds of machines.
You'll also notice that I'm looting quite a lot. That's because we don't really have a lot of inventory. because we need as much stuff as possible so we don't run low on anything. Which is a thing you have to be careful throughout the run. At least in the first half of the run, you have to kind of be aware of how much stuff you have. At least up until we get to the Grave Horde, which is about an hour, a little over an hour into the run. Because at that point we get a lot of stuff, so we don't have to worry about it anymore. But until then, we kind of have to pay attention to our resources and make sure we have enough of everything. So, for people that have played the game, the main quest, as people probably know, is split into 3 parts.
Maybe I can scan.
There's the Oseram part of the main quest, then there's the Norris part, and then there's Aloy learning about the past. And we have to complete all 3 of those storylines in order to get to the last quest at the end. But the good thing about the quest in this game is that you can complete a quest, or you don't have to fully complete a quest when you start it. So right here I'm actually gonna go into this area here to start the War Chief quest by examining these 2 machines. I'm gonna craft some ammo here while we wait for a guy to appear. And get some resources while we wait. So right now I'm just gonna do the very first part of this quest here. Because it's on the way, but we're not gonna finish this quest until later. Until after we have been in Maker's End, because the next part of this quest is a bit further away, and it's not really on the way to the Carja border, so we're gonna come back to it later. That's a nice thing you can do in this game. You only have to do part of the quest, and then you can just kind of leave it and move on to another thing. It's something that is used a lot more in like 100% speedruns of this game. In 100% speedruns of this game, there's sometimes where we have like 10 active quests at once. And just kind of doing objectives here and there, and then slowly finishing off the quests. It's not like games like GTA, where it's once you start a mission, you have to finish it. In this game, you can just do part of the quest and then come back later. So we use that to our advantage to do the routing in this game. Here in Mother's Heart, we need to talk to Maria, and then we're gonna visit the merchant. Maria's just gonna tell us about the Carja border, that we have to clear 2 corrupted zones, or clear the corrupted, in order to be able to cross the border. Right here I'm gonna buy the war bow, which has some electricity arrows, which we're gonna use, and then of course get the sample box. So we get a fast travel pack. By the way, the fast travel packs always have, or the sample boxes always have at least 1 fast travel packs, but sometimes they can have 2. So later on in the game, I'm gonna pay attention to how many fast travel packs I have. And then if I have more than necessary, I can kind of skip some merchant visits throughout the run and save some time that way, if I happen to get lucky with how many fast travel packs I get. So like I said, we need to clear corrupted zones to go across the border, and we are obviously just gonna clear the 2 that are on the way. The first one here, we just have to kill 3 grazers. And we're gonna use our fire arrows here to shoot the canisters on the back, because that makes them blow up. So that is all you need to do to kill these grazers is shoot their back, or at least the canisters, like that, and they're gonna blow up. Nice and easy. Then the next corrupted zone is a bit more tricky than that. This is where we're gonna use the electrical arrows, because these arrows are very effective when you're gonna go up against scrappers. Because scrappers have a small pack on their butt, and if you hit that pack with an electrical arrow, they are also gonna explode, like the grazers did with fire arrows. But for scrappers, it works with works with electrical arrows instead. So you're gonna see it here when I come over this hill. I'm gonna try my best to spot where the 2 scrappers is, and there's also 3 watchers. But we don't have to worry about the watchers, we have to worry about the scrappers, and you can see one of them is right in front of me here, so I'm gonna try to see if I can hit it while it's walking, and I missed the shot, so I have to knock him out here. I knock him out because then it's a lot easier to kill him. Or hit the shot. Gonna do the same thing with this guy. Pretty sure that hit. Really. Unfortunately, the Watchers here were a bit too far spread out. And none of them dropped a Watcher heart, so that's a little bit concerning.
Trying to see if the Carja Forge will let me pass over the mountains.
Gotta be a little wary of my health. If the two Scrabbers had been closer to the Watchers, the explosions from the Scrabbers could have done enough damage to kill the Watchers, but we got a little bit unlucky. The machines were too far spread out, so I had to deal with the Watchers with my spear. Coming up here is the final fight before we cross the border. There's two Watchers here, and we really need one of them to drop a Watcher heart, otherwise we're gonna lose a lot of time in Meridian. We'll see. There's also gonna be a Scrapper and a Corruptor here. The Scrapper, we are of course gonna make him explode
Sounds of fighting.
with the electrical arrow here,
A corruptor.
like that.
Turn back, girl. He's
And then we're gonna use 2 fire arrows to kill the Watcher. This Watcher didn't get hit by the explosion. He normally does, so that's a little bit confusing. And right here I'm now gonna try my best to set this guy on fire. Because we want him to be on fire. You'll notice he has a fire meter and an overheat meter above his head. When he overheats, he's gonna expose a weak spot there on top of his head, which I can do a lot of damage to if I hit it with arrows here. So you can see it just can do 75 damage on him, and then finish him off like that.
the sun shines upon us this day.
It wasn't the sun risking its ass down here.
Isn't that good? The Watcher? We didn't get a Watcher heart, so yeah, we're gonna lose a minute and a half in Meridian now.
Where are you headed?
That's the
girl?
bad RNG.
West to Meridian.
That's unfortunate. This run actually had a solid start, but no Watcher heart means we lose a ton of time. That's just the sad reality of the RNG. But oh well. At least now we have to do the backup here, I guess. In Meridian. But like I said, if this was a normal run, I would have reset, because, like I said, it loses like a minute and a half in Meridian not having the Watcher heart.
The killers were, how they saw me through his focus. And the woman is one who looks like me. Why they want me dead.
So, yeah, it's a bit unfortunate, but hopefully we get some better RNG later on in the run. The Watcher heart is not the only type of RNG in the run, but it's the one that matters the most, because it does end the run when you don't get it. Like I did in this situation. So yeah, I guess the chances of this potentially being a PB or new record is definitely gone.
Not quick enough.
But we can still try to get a solid run out of it. Despite the misfortune here. Now we're just on our way to Meridian here, and the Stonebird is shooting us, but he's not gonna hit us. And yeah, there's not really much to talk about here while we're on the way to Meridian. If this was a marathon run, we would probably do some donations here. Because it is just a straightforward ride to Meridian. So the reason why the Watcher Heart, of course, loses so much time is because in Meridian you can actually buy the Watcher Heart, but the merchant you need to buy the Watcher Heart from is far away, or is a bit far out of the way to where the quest in Meridian is. So if I had gotten the Watcher Heart, I could just have gone to the merchant that is just outside the city to buy the bow. But since I don't have the Watcher Heart, I actually have to go, after I complete the quest in Meridian, I then have to go to the merchant that sells the Watcher Heart. Then I need to buy it, and then I need to go to the merchant where I then can buy the bow from, because sadly it's not the same merchant. You have to go to 2 different merchants when you don't have the heart, and that's why it loses so much time. not having the heart. And you really need the upgraded bow. Because you might be thinking, couldn't you just buy the bow later? Well, the issue is, you can't buy the bow from merchants outside of Meridian. So the route would have to change quite a lot. Plus the bow I have right now is very weak compared to that bow. So it's just a pain in the ass to put it bluntly if you don't get the shadow bow. At least we have some decent coils actually, because I have 2 damage coils. I don't know what else I have. I might have forgotten. At least we have some decent early coils. Would have been nice if we had a handling coil as well, but yeah. So far this run, we have not gotten the best RNG in that regard. But hopefully it'll get better a little later on with other things. Right here we're gonna enter Meridian. Normally I would go to the merchant that is just outside here, but I'm not gonna go to him because I don't have the Watcher heart, so we have to go to a different merchant. So yeah, the Meridian section here would have looked completely different had I gotten the heart.
That other Outlander I talked to the night before the proving. Aaron said he'd introduce me to his sister if I visited Meridian. Said she was captain of the Vanguard.
City's locked down on account of the murder.
Now we're just gonna do the quest on Meridian, and then we can do all the merchant business afterwards.
Stop.
So right here we meet up with Aaron, because we need to figure out where Olin is. Yada yada yada. Story. I'm not really gonna explain too much about the story, because it would take way too long doing the run. Instead I'm just gonna focus on explaining the gameplay here. What we're gonna do.
Come back.
So many people talking at once. What did he mean?
Now we're gonna go into Olin's apartment here and just do some investigation to
Here we are.
figure out where he is. Spoiler, he's in the excavation site. Aloy doesn't know that yet.
Let's get... Looks like Olin kept a journal.
Olin? I knew he could read contracts, but I never took him for a poet.
No doubt now. Olin knew I was targeted. A map. The glyphs show places he visited.
And as soon as this is done, we have technically completed the quest errand, but...
There's your...
So normally if I had the Watcher heart, I would just leave the city now.
Red...
But since I don't have it, now I have to do all the merchant stuff. So all this I'm doing right now is technically time loss. So yeah, if you want to calculate how much time I'm losing right now, you can just start a watch from when I was done talking to Aaron there and until I fast travel. But we have to go to this merchant here. Yeah, might as well sell the stuff we don't need. Go in here and Watcher heart there. Buy the Watcher heart, and then we need to go to the other merchant in order to buy the bow.
See for yourself.
Check out these windows.
Nice.
And also because I needed to buy the Watcher heart, I'm gonna be pretty low on... I'm also gonna sell all my old weapons, because I no longer need them. And sell all the unnecessary coils here. I still don't have enough. That's good. This. Don't have enough shards. I'm pretty low on shards as well, so this is terrible. Let's loot that. So we at least have enough for this. Sorry, put this here, and then we're gonna craft and put on our weapon mods on our bow here. And then we're in here and loot this, and then we can fast out of Meridian. I only lost 51 seconds, so yeah, not a big time loss as I thought, but all that time loss was just because I got unlucky and didn't get the Watcher heart. But still, I'm still pretty low on shards there, so... And I used the shards to craft arrows and stuff, so that could be a problem here coming up. Yeah, I'm low on shards, so I can't craft fire arrows right now. I have 14 fire arrows, so that should be enough for the excavation site, but... I'm gonna get a good amount of shards from the corruptors and the excavation site, so that can make up for it. But, It does mean that I need to make sure I hit my shots here on the excavation site, otherwise it's not gonna be pretty. So yeah, you can just see not getting the Watcher Heart just spirals a lot of things out of control. Or basically just starts a spiral of bad RNG or bad fortune, whatever you want to call it. But since this is a no reset run / marathon run, whatever you want to call it, we're just gonna try to persevere through it, no matter what the game throws at us. But I feel like the game definitely owes me some good RNG, so hopefully we're gonna get some RNG back once we once we're done here. Now the excavation side here is a pretty tough fight here. There's 2 corruptors and a lot of human enemies. Luckily for us, the corruptors walk in a very specific pattern here, so we can take out the first corruptor here simply by using this trap, because he's always gonna walk under this. Then we're gonna try our best to take out some human enemies before we are spotted.
Kill her!
Gonna get some headshots.
You headshot.
Shut up. Tell that guy to shut up.
You're going down.
Now we have to make sure we hit all our shots here, because otherwise we're not gonna have enough shots. And you can see it just like the other corruptor. I wanna set him on fire and also get him to overheat, so I can shoot that weak spot that gets exposed. And then after that, I'm gonna start focusing on shooting his other weak spots here, like the 2 cannons on the side of his head. Be careful with my health here, that I don't die to that. I think we're good. Alright, now I'm out of shots, so I have to loot him to get more shots so I can craft some arrows here too. And then we can start killing these guys. Here, 2 body shots should be enough with the shots I have. I could also be going for headshots, but like that. That guy's hiding. There we go. Actually, that was pretty good fight considering I didn't have the odds, or didn't have the odds in my favor in that fight, but that actually went pretty well.
And what? Where would
My phone.
Yes. Go.
I didn't.
So considering all the things that were going against me there, that was actually not bad. So right here, we're gonna go in here and then we're gonna learn the skills here so we can load in 2 arrows into a bow. I'm also gonna heal myself up here. I now no longer have any health potions, but luckily for us, there's a box right outside here that always have health potions in it. We're just gonna loot this.
Nutritious.
So now we have some health potions again. Because obviously we want to be able to heal ourselves. Now we can move on to the ambush here. Aaron is all the way over there, so that's a big of a problem. Aaron's spawn here is random. But since he's so far away, there's a chance that when I kill the 3 machines up here, that he's gonna teleport to us. Like I said, the game does owe me some good RNG, so let's hope that happens. Because you're supposed to kill these 3 machines together with Aaron, but you can just go here and kill them yourself before he comes. So I'm trying to hit the horns of these lance horns there, because that's their weak spot. Those guys are down. Where's the Watcher? Boom. Oh, now he drops a blue drop. Let me get.
I'm glad that's over with. Thanks for the
See,
help.
now I get the Watcher Heart. A little bit too late, but...
No, sir. Shot.
And you can see there, Aaron actually teleported next to us. So when Aaron is that far away, there is that chance that he can teleport like that to get close. I'm a bit low on wood here. That shouldn't be an issue, because I have enough arrows.
Here.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
Crystal for my mount. Right here, you're supposed to follow Aaron, so that's why you get knocked off your mount.
No.
Because the game doesn't want you to get too far away from him. But we can just jump back on a mount and ride again. As soon as the dialogue is over.
Almost there. This is it. Where do you ambush
And we just need to scan the, or examine the blood here, and then we can move on
Move a body through.
to the next fight here, which is the ambush fight itself. There's gonna be 5 human enemies. 3 of them is gonna be on platforms on top. Again, I'm gonna try to hit headshots, because just like in the proving, the animations are always pretty much the same. So I can kind of predict where the head is gonna be, so that makes it a little easier to hit the headshots. And then I get knocked off this round again, because again, the game doesn't want you to get too far away from Aaron. And then the 2 guys on the ground, I'm just gonna try my best to hit headshots as best as I can. So you can see there the heads are pretty much always in the same position, makes it a little easier to predict. This guy is gonna be annoying. There we go, and there we go. Where did the other guy go? I think he died. Oh, he's over here. Okay, Aaron froze him there, so I'm just gonna do that. And now the Ravagers are gonna spawn here.
Get ready.
So right here, I'm gonna try to shoot off the cannon of the Ravager by hitting the cannon here 2 times. He's moving a bit much there, so there we go. The cannon is off, which I can then pick up and use to kill him. That's one, and then there's another Ravager right here. Ooh, he's close. Try my best to loot one of them before the cutscene. There we go.
These look like
I managed to loot him.
There's no blood on them.
The reason why I wanted to loot him there is because, as I said, I'm pretty low in shots right now, so
They're shattered.
I had to loot one of them, so I had some more
Something I've never seen
shots
before.
to work with.
What are those leather straps? Armor straps. Cut with a knife.
That was actually a pretty solid fight here. Human enemies could have been a little faster, but I'll take
Looks
that.
like you could mount some
I've
equipment.
done a lot worse there.
There, by the tripod.
Right here, we just need to examine these 4 things, and then we can leave after we talk to Aaron. Let's fast travel out of here. Right here, you're gonna see me turn the camera around and whistle twice. The reason why I turn the camera around is because the mount always spawns off camera. And turning the camera a specific way just basically manipulates the mount spawn to be more in your favor. So you can kind of manipulate the mount in different ways. In that situation, you just wanted to turn the camera around to get a better spawn out of him. So if you ever notice after or when I'm calling for a mount, if I move my camera around, it's because I'm trying to manipulate where he's gonna spawn. Let's see here, we have 2 health potions, which is good, because we're gonna take a lot of damage during the next fight, or most likely take a lot of damage in the next fight coming up here at Maker's End, so it's important you have something to heal yourself with going into this fight. Right here, you want to pay attention to the navigation bar right here. There's gonna be a campfire on the navigation bar, and that's gonna turn green. As soon as that turns green, we're gonna turn to the right and head towards Maker's End. When the campfire turns green, that means you can then fast travel to it, because it's then activated. And it does that once you're within 50 feet of the campfire, it activates. And we're gonna use that campfire later to go to,
Long day. And a longer night ahead.
what's it called? To go to Zero Dawn, which is a bit later on in the run. So we activate that campfire now, so we're gonna be able to fast travel a little closer later. Then we're just gonna be on our way here to Maker's End. I am gonna make a stop at the merchant here. Normally I would just get a fast travel pack, but because of the whole Watcher Hut situation, I'm also gonna buy some extra wood from this merchant. Normally I would have bought the wood in Meridian, but because I had to buy a Watcher Hut, I didn't have enough shards to purchase the wood bundle as well.
Who is she?
And I need the wood, because otherwise I'm gonna be low on wood, which is also used to craft ammunition.
Spying through my focus again. We'll go on.
The merchant is gonna be right here on the left. Luckily for us, most of the merchants are right on our path here. We're gonna get the box for the fast travel pack, and then we're gonna get the wood bundle. And then we can continue. right here because I have the because I have the arrows or the wood now. I can craft some arrows that I'm gonna be needing in the fight. Now, coming up in this fight, we're gonna have our first Deathbringer here. The thing I'm gonna do, there's also 2 Watchers and then a bunch of human enemies. I'm gonna try to take out the 2 Watchers first. 2 fire arrows is enough to kill the Watchers, because they're corrupted. And when enemies are corrupted, they're a lot more vulnerable to fire. So 2 fire arrows is actually enough to kill the Watchers here. So you're gonna see at the start of the fight here, before the Deathbringer starts shooting at us, I'm gonna focus on the 2 Watchers. So set the 2 Watchers on fire before the Deathbringer starts doing his thing. And take out the big guy here. Then we're gonna pay our attention to the Deathbringer here. Oh. While we try to dodge the other guys around here. There we go, that's the Deathbringer down. Now we can focus on the ground guys. And then there's 3 archers here in the back here. I usually go for body shots because these guys are very unpredictable, so going for headshots can be very risky. He's gonna go behind cover, so let's focus on this guy. Got a headshot there, so that's good. And that guy's done. And then we need to loot the...
Did it. Those things pack a punch. Alright.
The Deathbringer landed on top of the leader there, so I had to loot the Deathbringer first. You have to loot the... loot the leader there to... in order to progress. Also, I looted the Deathbringer there. The Deathbringer always drops 3 purple coils. Or weapon mods. And those weapon mods we need for a bow, but unfortunately there we got even more bad RNG, and we got nothing useful from that Deathbringer. Because like I said, we want to see damage and handling coils, and we got none of that, so we have nothing useful from that. That's pretty bad. Because obviously the better weapon mods you get, the more damage you're gonna be able to deal. And throughout the run, we're gonna kill 4 big, or there's gonna be 4 places where we get 3 purple weapon mods, which we can then use to upgrade a weapon. But on the first try here at Maker's End, we got nothing useful, so that's pretty bad.
Maybe a long way up. Frozen metal most of the way. If plants can find a way to handle up here.
Yeah, next time is gonna be at the Grave Horde after the next Deathbringer, where we have another chance of getting some coils we can use. But for now, I guess we're just gonna have to deal with getting a really bad RNG. At least our gameplay has been fairly solid, considering the game hasn't been very kind to us, so... As long as we're playing well, I mean, we're not gonna get too far behind. I mean, RNG doesn't have that much of an impact other than the Watcher heart. So if you play well, you can still get a really good time. But of course, if you get the better weapon mods, it just allows you to do the fight slightly faster. But yeah, this time we got unlucky, and that's how it goes. This category can be a little bit annoying and like that when you're trying to grind for a good time, because obviously you want to get good RNG, especially the Watcher heart, because that can just be a reset point, or it is the biggest reset point at the start of the run. But then the weapon mods as well, if you just get nothing useful throughout the entire run, then that can be pretty annoying to work with as well. Especially once you get later into the game, if you don't have good weapon mods, the fights just become a lot harder.
All it takes is a few good handholds. Alright.
Right here we're gonna have 3 holograms we have to watch. These are basically like cutscenes, but we can't skip them, unfortunately.
Oh yes, I believe I do.
So right here we just grab some ammo while we wait for the holograms.
The
And there's some boxes we can loot here while we wait, while the cutscenes play out anyway, or the holograms. Sadly, there's no way to skip these holograms, but it would be so nice if there was a way to do it. But I have personally tried everything I can think of, and I just haven't been able to find anything that actually would help
You screwed something up,
skip them.
you wouldn't have eaten the crow necessary to get me here. So spit it out.
Now we need to wait for these to finish. This is even though they're holograms, it would be nice to skip them. They do offer a nice little break in the run where you can kind of relax, gather your thoughts and everything.
Obviously, Liz, we would, if we could. They're not responding.
Are you telling me a swarm has gone rogue, Ted?
It's worse than that.
Show me the data then. And I'll take that lunch. Alone.
Ted Faro brought Elizabeth.
Right here, you can see I just aimed the focus at where the message is gonna spawn on the table. So as soon as it spawns, and it's gonna start immediately.
Catastrophe.
Fully aware. It's bad.
So there's not really much to say while we're up here.
It's not bad, Ted.
We're just waiting for these to finish.
You built a line of killer robots.
There's gonna be one more hologram after this.
That consume biomass as
But the thing we're gonna do here before we fast travel to the next quest, which is gonna be the War Chief quest, is first of all we're gonna learn another skill, which is gonna allow us to load in three arrows into a bow instead of two, which we have at the moment. So we're gonna learn that skill. Then of course we're gonna. And then we would have put on a weapon mods if we have gotten anything useful, but we didn't. And the last thing we're gonna do is upgrade some of our carry capacity for Aloy. We're gonna upgrade our resource inventory so we can carry more resources, and we're gonna upgrade our arrow inventory. I forgot what it's called. So we can have more arrows, so we don't have to craft as often. And the last thing we are gonna upgrade, if we have enough resources to do it, is upgrade our health potion inventory, so we can carry more health potions. Because it's just nice being able to have more health potions.
There has to be another way.
If there were a nicer way to fix your mess, I would have proposed it.
But this?
So this is the last hologram here. During this hologram, we're gonna do a nice little trick here.
I didn't expect it to be worse than
So normally you're not allowed to call for a mount when you are inside a building or inside a settlement.
Now sign the proposal.
But a little overlook by the developers from Guerrilla Games. Being out here on this balcony counts as you being outside.
Liz,
So in other words, we can whistle for a mount.
You've got a choice, Ted.
And that's how we get a mount to spawn up here.
Speaking to you from a VTOL
All you have to do is go on that balcony and whistle for a mount.
In 15 minutes, I meet with General Harris
And
the
you
rest
might
of
be
the
wondering,
Rangers.
well, why is this useful to the run?
are you crazy?
Well, when you fast travel, it's actually faster if you
Sign, and I'll
or
tell them the wealthiest
if you are on a
corporation
mount
guaranteed
when
the
you
funds
fast travel,
necessary to
the
build
mount
Zero
is
Dawn.
gonna carry with you through the fast travel.
Or
So
don't
as soon as
sign,
the
and I will
dialogue
make
is
sure
over here,
everyone else on this planet
or the
knows
hologram is
real
over, I'm
cause
gonna
of
talk to
this.
Silence. And then once I'm done talking to Silence, I'm then gonna roll over and jump on my mount. And then fast travel. Because
Sign.
when I'm on my mount, after the fast travel is over, I will still be on my mount. And that way I can
Look on the
move
bright side,
right
Ted.
away
From
as
here
soon
on
as the
out,
fast
you get to
travel is
do what
over.
you've always been good at. Footing
And
the
not
bill
have to
while
wait
others
for a
get their
mount to
hands
spawn
dirty.
somewhere else.
God forgive me.
Right here, the hologram is over. And now Silence should spawn.
So,
Go through his dialogue.
or
You
But-
we think
Whoa. Right.
Then we're gonna jump on a mount here. Then we're gonna go in here. As I said, we're gonna learn the skill for 3 arrows. Then we're gonna go into carry capacity, upgrade resources, upgrade arrows and health potions, and then we fast travel. Sometimes you don't have enough resources to upgrade your health potions, or your carry capacity for health potions. So if you don't have that, you just skip it for now and then you can upgrade it later. But we already have it now, so now we can carry up to 6 health potions, which is gonna come in handy. And you'll see here, as soon as the fast travel is over, I'm gonna be on my mount. Because like I said, he carries through the fast travel. But we have to visit this merchant here, because we need, again, 3 sample bucks. Then we're gonna buy a blast sling, which we're gonna be using later. And because I don't have any potions, I'm just gonna play it a little safe and buy 2 health potions. Because in case, normally we don't take a lot of damage doing these next 3 splits. But just to be on more the safer side, I'm gonna buy 2 extra. I normally do that in most runs if I don't have any health potions. I buy 2 there. Or sometimes 3 if I have a good amount of resources, but yeah. It just sucks if you accidentally lose too much health and you don't have anything to heal yourself with. It would just be a bad way to lose it. Coming up here, we just have to go in here and examine the bandages, and then we can move on.
Might be a blood trail I could follow. I should try my focus. Tracks.
So this is the War Chief quest. If you remember, we started this quest a while back on the run, but now we're actually gonna do the rest of the quest, because, like I said, this is more convenient for the route to finish off the quest now, when it's more, or when it's closer to the next quest we're gonna do. Coming up here, we're gonna meet up with Sona, the War Chief, as soon as we have done this cutscene here. Because I'm low on resources, I'm gonna do a little trick here. I'm gonna go to the back of the sawtooth here and then trigger the cutscene by going in between his legs. And what that allows me to do is loot the sawtooth twice, like that.
The killers are just across this ridge.
Because after the cutscene is over, for some reason all the loot inside the all the loot respawns inside the sawtooth, so you can get double the amount of loot there. It's a nice little thing here. I'm also gonna kill this hawk here, because I got a good amount of meat there. That meat I can use to craft fast travel packs if I should be low later on in the run. It's a nice little way to play safe. Doing some marathon safe strats now. And here comes a specific strat here. So what we're gonna do is hit this. Almost missed. Right, got both, and then the fire barrel over here. So we're gonna hit these fire barrels here to kill the 2 scrappers and some of the watchers. And then the rest of the watchers here we're gonna set on fire. And then we can move down and start fighting these guys. Here, gonna try my best to hit some headshots to speed up this process of killing them. That guy is still alive. Oh, the watcher is still alive, I mean. Let's set him on fire to kill him. This guy next to us. Give him a good old whack with the spear. And this guy I just can't hit. Now it's a good thing I bought some potions, because now I'm low on health. That was quite a slow fight. She's been unlucky there. But yeah, you can see there we used the blaze barrels to take out the machines while they were next to them. Then we're gonna loot a lot of stuff here while we wait for this guy to talk. Right there I actually got lucky. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I got some fast travel packs from one of these boxes here. Fast travel packs can also just spawn in boxes like that. So if you get lucky, they can just spawn like that. And once they're done here, we can move on to the next quest. Again, I flipped the camera there so you can see the mount spawns right here, which is on the way to where we need to go anyway. Because now we're gonna be on the way to the next quest, which is Revenge of the Nora. And Revenge of the Nora is a little bit of a special quest compared to some of the other quests in this in the run here. Because Revenge of the Nora has a special thing about it, is that all the objectives of the quest are already spawned in. So we can actually do all the objectives of the quest without starting the quest. And what that basically allows us to do is to go to the camps straight away instead of having to go to the starting point of the quest. So it just gives us a faster way to get to the camps. And also another bonus thing about doing it this way is that the Nora people is not going to be at the camps helping us. Because we don't want that. Because even though they're technically helping us, they tend to put the enemies in random positions. And I don't like randomness, so I'm gonna do the camps on my own. Because obviously the Nora is not gonna be there, because the game knows we haven't started the quest yet. But there's gonna be 3 camps we have to clear here. Yeah, we're gonna do some specific strats to deal with the camps as fast as possible here. And abuse the fact that there's a lot of blaze around. First, I'm just gonna activate that campfire on my left here by going a little bit to the left. Just like we did earlier. Coming up here, I'm gonna first headshot this guy that is right in front of us. That, and we're gonna set this guy on fire so he dies. Then we're gonna shoot a fire up here at this spawn that's gonna kill 2 people. And then we're gonna deal with that. Whistle for a mount. And then blow up this blaze cannon barrel that takes care of the last guy. And that cleans up the first camp nice and easily. And none of the guys there pretty much knew what happened to them. Everything just kind of blew up around them and they were all dead. Next camp here, we want to be a little bit more stealthy. At least for the first part of the camp. Because this camp can be very tricky if the enemies start moving around too much. So we want to avoid that. So starting off here, we're going to kill first 2 guys with headshots here. That guy and then the guy next to the alarm. And we're going to kill this guy next to the fireball. Gonna hit the blaze on the back of this guy. That blows him up. Use the barrel there to kill the guy above. And then we're gonna use a bomb to kill this guy beneath us. He didn't die, that's bad. Because now this guy is out of position. He hasn't spotted us, so I don't know where he's going. It's not good. Because this guy is now next to the alarm. But we did kill them all before they hit the alarm, so that's good. Normally that guy wouldn't have moved like that. That guy that moved so far to the left. But I think it was because that third to last guy didn't die in one shot. He survived the explosion. Anyway, we managed to get by it without any problems. We don't want them to activate the alarm because then more enemies spawn in and you have to kill them. So right here we're gonna kill 3 more guys. Again, we're gonna be stealthy at first. Killing these first 3 guys here. This guy's a bit far away, so let's get a little closer. Then we're gonna get this guy to spot us, then blow him up. Then blow up this barrel. Then we're gonna try our best to hit the backpack of this guy. And then this last guy is down in the hole here. And we're gonna hit his backpack as well. Then he's gonna blow up now. Last camp there can go a couple of different ways, but that way we did it right there was fine. Not the fastest way of doing it, but it's okay. And that finishes off the camps here, and now we can go talk to Val and Sona to move on to the Ring of Metal.
If I'm...
Sound.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Go now.
We wait on your signal.
So inside Ring of Metal, there's gonna be a lot of enemies we have to kill. And the interesting fact about this thing is, like I said, the quest hasn't started, but for whatever reason, the game just progresses, even though I cleared the camps.
You do have a plan, right?
You've followed me this far, even into the ruins. I thought you trusted me.
Right here, we're just gonna craft some stuff while we wait for Val to catch up. And we're gonna load in a triple shot with our bow, because we are gonna be using that on one of the big fellers. It's gonna be a big bellow back here inside the inside the Ring of Metal, which we're gonna take care of first. First off, we're gonna run past some enemies, because the first couple of enemies here you don't have to kill. You're just gonna run past them and hopefully they don't... No! Ah, that's bad.
What are you doing? I thought you had to take my hand.
Ah, I fell down. Yeah, I'm not gonna explain that. That takes too long to explain, but... Yeah, something can happen there that causes you to fall back down. And I accidentally did it. Anyway, run past these guys and hope they don't do too much damage to you. Especially, I only have 1 health potion and I'm already slightly low on health. Seems like we are gonna survive. Damn it. Anyway, now we're gonna start shooting the bellow back here. We're gonna hit his big old tank on his back with the triple shots here. Because we want him to blow up. Move out of the way, because we really don't want to get hit. Then once he's blown up, I'm gonna switch to fire arrows and then move towards the blaze we have to blow up here. Hopefully nobody's in the way here, so I can just shoot it from here. I did. Nice. One of those guys that were in front of me there could have blocked me from hitting the blaze. But luckily they were close enough so I could... I could just hit it right away. So right here I'm just gonna kill a couple of guys, set the watchers here on fire to take care of those. Wait for the bellowback to get a little closer, because I want him to get close to me now. Where's the bellowback? He's right there. Nice, he's right next to me, that's very good. Because now I'm gonna make sure he blows up right here. Because what that's gonna do is create a big explosion that kills a lot of Eclipse at once here. All the soldiers there that were next to each other, or next to the bellowback, died from that. We're gonna take care of the waves that are gonna spawn now. So we're gonna try to hit bombs here where they spawn. Hopefully kill multiple here. Don't know why this guy is popping up and down. Right here we just need to clean up the guys. Let's look at these guys next to the blaze barrel. Gonna take advantage of that. Go, and that's it. That was actually really good. That seemed pretty good. Let's see, time-wise, yeah, that was pretty solid. So that's a nice way you can kill them. We basically killed the entire first wave by blowing up the bellowbacks next to everybody. Because they kind of just grouped together next to us there. Now we are gonna go to the Grave Horde. But first, we actually have to start the quest we just finished. Keep whistling for my mount here while going up. Then saving at this campfire starts the quest. And because we already did all the objectives, you're gonna see here the quest just completes instantly. Like that. And let's see, we are good on blaze, so I can craft this. Like I said, I usually have to be aware of how much resources I have for ammunition and all that, all the way until we're past Grave Horde. Because here at Grave Horde we're gonna get a lot of resources, so after Grave Horde we don't really have to worry about... we don't have to worry about resources anymore, unless something goes really wrong. But that shouldn't happen. So yeah, also you might be wondering, why did you start the quest there when you already completed it? I have to complete the quest like that. Like, because otherwise the game doesn't think the quest is completed, even though you did all the objectives. Because if I don't do that, the game basically just soft lock when I get to the eclipse base later on in the run. Because if you don't start and finish the quest like that, the game's gonna soft lock when you get to the eclipse base.
Fascinating.
And obviously, since we don't really have good weapon mods right now, since we're gonna be fighting a Deathbringer up here at Gravehorde, and that guy's gonna drop 3 more purple weapon mods. So let's hope he actually drops something useful. I would really like to get a handling coil and a damage coil. If I could get both, that would be awesome. If not, at least one of them, because the weapon mods I have right now are just not that good. And after Gravehorde, we are of course going to go into the latter part of the run, and not having good weapon mods in the latter part of the run, it's just not going to be that easy to deal with. Right here, we're gonna enter Gravehorde here. There's gonna be a lot of enemies here at the start, but we actually don't have to kill anybody yet.
They're inside too.
You can just ignore these guys and go past them. Excuse me. Right here we need to open this door, and there's gonna be some free puzzles here we have to solve in order to unlock this door. Normally you have to scan these things inside this room to get the answer, but the answer is always the same, so after you're done enough speedruns, you're gonna be able to memorize these. Or you could just write them down in your notes. But obviously I've done quite a good amount of speedruns of this game, so yeah, I just know what to plug into these passwords. I don't really have to think about it. And once that's done, the door upstairs is gonna unlock. And then there's gonna be another room full of enemies here, but again, we don't have to kill anybody yet. I'll pick up this medicine just to heal up a bit. Right here, the enemies actually won't spot you until Aloy is done talking, for whatever reason. So that's why I can pretty much get halfway past them until they actually start noticing I'm there. Because for some reason that dialogue blocks it. And right here is going to be another hologram, but this hologram we can actually skip, which is very nice. But it turns out if you pick up this power cell, that stops Silence from talking and then unlocks this door. So we can actually skip that hologram. And we're gonna pick up that stuff and go into the fight here. Now first we're gonna take out these 2 archers here on the bridge, or the 2 high grounds there. Load in a triple shot here and then start moving over here so we can get down to the actual Deathbringer. Gonna jump down here. And then we're gonna shoot the Deathbringer with the triple shot to do some damage. And I'm gonna try my best to hit these guys' backpacks that are next to the Deathbringer. Oh shit. Because then they are gonna blow off right next to the Deathbringer, which is very convenient. And now we're gonna set the Deathbringer on fire here. Because again, just like the Corruptors earlier, we want the Corruptor to overheat. You can see the overheat meter here on him. First we're gonna hit these, because that exposes his weak spots. And like that. And now we're gonna kill this human guy because he's getting annoying. Right now you can see he's overheated because the overheat meter is on above his head. That overheat meter means that he's gonna expose these weak spots, which we can then destroy because they do a lot of damage if they're destroyed. I didn't really quite get that one. So let's make some more arrows here so we can set them on fire again. So now we want to fill up the overheat meter here by the fire arrows. Let's take out one of these. So we want to keep him overheated here, so he keeps exposing these weak spots here. So we can do a lot of damage. Normally if I had better coils, I would be able to deal a lot more damage to this guy, but my coils are not the greatest, so this fight is a little bit more tricky, and I have to really make sure I hit all my shots while avoiding taking damage. Like that. There we go. Because also I didn't really have anything to heal myself, so I really had to play it a lot safe there. But yeah, obviously if I had some better, like a handling coil or a damage coil, I could have dealt with him a lot quicker there. Or dealt with him quicker at least. But let's hope this guy actually drops something useful, so we can upgrade our weapons. Like I said, we need some stuff to heal ourselves. By the way, I just started a hologram there. We actually don't have to be inside the room when the hologram plays. We can just go back in here and loot all the stuff that's in here. And that's actually quite a lot. But that's why I said we don't really have to worry about resources anymore, because we actually get quite a lot of stuff in... we actually get quite a lot of stuff from looting here while that hologram plays. Because we can progress until the hologram is over, so you might as well go in here and pick up all this stuff while we wait. So as you can see, there's a lot of medicine on the ground. The medicine is the green bar underneath my health in the top left. The medicine I basically just use to heal myself. And then of course looting all these boxes just gives me quite a lot of resources to make ammo for my weapons. And now let's loot this guy and let's pray he actually drops something useful. And he didn't drop anything useful, so we are screwed. So far this run we have had the absolute worst possible RNG, so... yeah, not the best for a submission, but... yeah, I don't know what I can do. Just worst RNG in ever. Didn't get a watcher hard, and we didn't get good coils, so... I feel like this run was kind of doomed from the start. Right here we're just gonna craft some ammo while we wait for this to finish. And a triple shot, because we're gonna use that when we get to Eclipse Space.
It may be ugly, but it's something. Consider the alternative. Dr. Sobek, I've secured use of a decommissioned orbital launch base outside Bryce, Utah as the Zero Dawn staging area.
And as soon as this hologram finishes, this door is gonna unlock, and then we can progress.
I've already mailed you a list of alpha and beta candidates. Most are foreign nationals or subjects of corporate holdings, so extracting them...
leave that to me. You'll get your dream team. Count on it.
So I will still say this. My execution in this run has actually been quite good. But RNG-wise, this run has just not been good at all. Like, I haven't got anything useful, really. Like, at all. This is a very unique run in terms of how bad RNG has been. So that's how that is. So right here, I'm just gonna quickly go in here and loot my boxes here. Because now I need to start paying attention to how many fast travel packs I have. Because that way I know if I can skip a merchant in the later part of the run here. Because like I said, if I have enough fast travel packs, I can then skip merchants later on and save a little bit of time that way. So right here we are going back to Meridian to talk to Avad. So we can start the Borderlands quest. But we're actually not going to do the Borderlands quest right away. We are just going to Meridian because it's on the way to the Eclipse Base. So just like with the War Chief quest earlier, we're just going to start the quest. And then we'll return to it once it's more convenient for the route.
Arrested too for disorderly conduct.
Right here, all we need to do is just go to the palace and talk to Avad, and then we can move on.
Agreed.
What
He's in. Follow.
all of these people are here to see the Sun King.
Yes. And he just come to our favor.
Again, here another example where we're supposed to follow Marat, but again, we can just walk to the end and wait for him. And the funny thing is, when you have to wait here, that Avad and Aaron that's standing right here is just staring blankly into the air, probably contemplating their life choices, but, you know, yeah, nothing happens until Marat gets here. Unfortunately, cutscene trigger is dependent on Marat, so we just kind of have to wait until he gets here. It only takes like 20 seconds, so he'll be here in a sec. Any day now. And as soon as we're done here, we are then gonna fast travel out of Meridian, and then we can be on our way to the Eclipse base. So right here I'm gonna pay attention to how many fast travel packs I have. I have 5 there. Let me think. So that means I have 4 now. Yeah, that means I can skip the merchant on the way to Eclipse base. Let me see. Yeah, so I actually have so many fast travel packs right now, so I can skip the merchant. There's a merchant on the way to Eclipse base here, so I actually don't have to stop at this merchant because I have enough fast travel packs. But I also have enough fast travel packs so I don't have to go to the merchant in Borderlands either, which is a quest coming up later. So I'm just gonna skip those 2 merchants because I don't need the sample box for fast travel packs because I already have enough to finish the game with the current amount I have. Because right now in the game there are 7 fast travels left on the run, and I have 4 fast travel packs on me right now. I'm gonna get one from Zero Dawn, and then I have enough meat to craft 2, so I have 7 fast travel packs in that sense. Because there's only 7 times left on the run we need to fast travel. But that's just a thing you kind of need to keep track of when you get to this point of the run. If I was a little bit lower on fast travel packs, I would have to visit the merchant on the way to Borderlands here to get one, or on the way to Eclipse base, and then I could also have gotten one in Borderlands. But instead, we're gonna skip those. So I guess even though we haven't had good RNG with the more important stuff, when it comes to fast travel packs, we have actually doing okay. We actually done pretty good on fast travel packs. So in some way I actually have gotten a little bit of good RNG. So I guess technically I can't say I've gotten only bad RNG. But you know, with the important RNG, it's not gone that well. So Eclipse base here, there's not really any combat in this, but there are some important skips we need to get in order to move past this. You can see the merchant is right here on my right. But since I have enough fast travel packs, I don't need to go to that merchant. Now we just need to climb up and then the quest starts. So the climbing spots here on this wall wouldn't be here if I hadn't completed the Revenge of the Nora quest. So that's how the game would have soft-locked if I didn't complete the quest earlier. So coming up here is the first skip we need to do in Eclipse Space to skip past this first area. Instead of having to go the intended way, we can use this little branch on the wall here to climb up or jump up. Ah, I messed it up. The hitbox on the branch is a lot smaller than it looks like, so you have to be a bit precise with the jump there. And that's the first skip. Second skip comes up after this area here, where we can do the gate skip to jump over the gate here and completely skip an entire fight with the Eclipse here. And I'm messing up these jumps right now. Yeah. I'm gonna kill this guy. And then we're gonna do the gate skip here using this torch. I messed it up. We're gonna use this torch so we can jump up these hitboxes on the gate, and there we go. Normally you have to kill all the guys there and then go around the back to get across there, but you can actually just jump across that gate.
see it.
And then once we get to the top of the tomek here, we have to escape. While a lot of machines and enemies are shooting at us.
I don't like this.
So no matter what, we're gonna lose a lot of health here, but the good thing is we got so much medicine from Gravehorde, so that's not an issue. We can just heal ourselves. And you're not gonna take that much damage as long as you keep moving here. Sometimes if you get really lucky, you can actually go through this section without losing any health, but
Yeah, you think?
that does require luck to be a bit on your side.
Taking a nap? Are you kidding me?
So far I haven't taken any damage. Maybe.
No way.
I'm gonna jump around here to grab a climbing spot there to skip a bit of the climbing.
Are you kidding me?
Don't fight.
And then of course we can just ignore all the enemies, because all we have to do is escape. Don't have to kill anyone.
Got it. Almost there.
Just make sure we don't get stuck on anything.
Whole base is on high alert.
Yeah, I noticed.
Keep moving or you'll die.
And let's see here. And wow, I actually managed to get past this entire section without it taking any damage. Nice. Like I said, that's a rare thing, but I did it. No damage. Nice. So now we actually are going to Zero Dawn here. And of course we just used the campfire that we activated when we were on our way to Maker's End, if you guys remember that, earlier in the run. Let's look for a mount. And then we can be on our way. So coming up in Zero Dawn here, there's actually a completely new skip that was found just a couple of days ago. So I haven't done those skips yet. While I haven't done those skips yet while playing any percent, because I've been focusing a little bit on New Game Plus lately. So if these skips goes well, if these skips goes well, we can save a good amount of time here. Because like I said, I've never done them in any percent yet. But we'll see how it goes.
But they have no idea what lies beneath. We will learn much from this Aloy.
So the first thing here, we're gonna go to this merchant, because we're gonna buy a sling, because we need that to freeze enemies. And of course the free sample box to get a pastoral pack. And right here, I'm gonna go into crafting and put on a freeze coil. Then sure my sling is equipped, because we're gonna use the freeze to on some enemies inside Zero Dawn here. But before we get inside Zero Dawn here, we just have to quickly move through the Sunfall City here, palace thing. I'm gonna jump up here, that just starts the cutscene slightly earlier. Normally you have to go around to trigger that cutscene, but you can just jump on that. Then we're gonna do a precise skip here to get down a little faster instead of climbing down. We're just gonna skip down, like that.
Obviously. No.
Like I said, there's a new skip inside Zero Dawn here that we are gonna do. So let's hope it goes well.
I've shown you the way in.
And this skip actually allows me to skip a fight completely. And what that skip also does, because we skip an entire fight that we have to do normally, it puts the game in a kind of confused state where the quest won't complete because we're skipping an objective. So the game gets a little bit confused. You'll see when we get to it. Let's get in here. Like I said, this skip was just found a couple of days ago, so we'll see how it goes now. Because I haven't done this yet while playing any percent. So which means if this goes well, I could actually gold the split by a decent amount.
What's this place?
A holographic theater.
CD-01 data intact.
We'll see how it goes.
Initiating playback.
Right here, there's just a little bit of exposition before we get into the more serious part of Zero Dawn.
Said it could not be stopped.
But it was. Somehow Elizabeth saved us. I've got to keep looking. Find out how she did it. sentries. They got in through the vents.
I'm gonna go through this door here, and then I'm gonna hug the left side so the enemies behind me don't shoot me.
What is this place? Initiating playback.
So, the whole Earth destroyed, but then remade.
So coming up here is the fight. There's gonna be 3 guys with cannons here, but I'm gonna shoot a little bit of freeze bomb here to freeze them. That's gonna allow me to do a lot more damage than killing that guy with 1 triple shot. Then I'm gonna pick up his cannon and use it against them. I can't see this guy. Is he dying? There we go. That guy didn't die. No? There we go. I was like, why didn't he die? Anyway, now they're dead. Now we can go inside this room, and then we're gonna squeeze ourselves up with using this spike here. That allows us to grab the emitter through the floor, which we can then use to repair this puzzle. Normally you have to do the puzzle that's right behind me to go upstairs to get the emitter, but squeezing yourself in between the floor above there and the spike there, you can actually grab it through the floor. And here comes the new skip. So now the door is open, we are gonna go inside the next room here. We're gonna kill this guy here, because he can be a bit annoying. When you try to do the skip and he just wasn't dying. I should have used the fire on him actually. But we can jump up this pillar in order to skip this fight. Normally we have to kill all the enemies in this room. That's very slow, so... and I'm not very good at this skip yet, so... bear with me.
You won't survive this.
The second jump here on the skip is pretty tough because the hitbox is very small that you have to hit. So there we go, now we're on the catwalk upstairs, which allows us to progress. Now the thing to pay attention to here, first off, here comes another skip here, where we're gonna use another pillar here to jump over this railing. And the nice thing is the door right here is just right below. I'm gonna craft some ammo, because we need that for the next fight. So pay attention now to the quest thing here. It still says kill the eclipse in the top left corner. Because I skipped that fight, the game doesn't really progress in the memory, I guess you could say. Because, yeah, we have skipped the entire objective, so the quest is not actually gonna complete. You could say on paper, or officially, the quest doesn't complete, but we're still able to progress here. There we go. Still golded it because of the new skip. But, yeah, like you saw there, the skip took quite a long time, so I can save more time there in future runs. So pay attention here once we get out of the cutscene here, or the dialogue with Helis here, that the objective is still gonna say deep secrets of the earth, kill the eclipse. So technically the game still thinks we are inside Zero Dawn doing that objective, even though we are progressed onto the Sun Ring here. And right here we need this behemoth to take down these 2 pillars, so we're gonna get him to run into this. Then we're quickly gonna move behind him and get behind this second pillar here. So we can get him to take down this pillar. Come on, big boy. I think I messed it up. That's bad. Please chase me. This is not going well.
I should try luring the behemoth into the pillars.
No! Yeah, I need to get him to hit a second pillar, but...
Gotta get out of the way.
on. Yeah, I messed it up there. It wasn't fast enough to... There we go. I wasn't fast enough to get behind the second pillar before he did that attack, so that's why I was really slow. Also, I need to skip the split, because the new skip changes that split a little bit. So you'll also notice here during the cutscene that the platform above is still there, because there's technically 2 platforms right now. Because the game still thinks we're doing the quest inside Zero Dawn, so the game is very confused right now. Alright, so now we have to, of course, kill the behemoth. So what we're gonna do is freeze him, which allows us to do a lot more damage, and he just keeps hitting me. So we're gonna freeze him here, because that is gonna allow us to do more damage. Because when machines are frozen, they take more damage from your hardpoint arrows. I'm gonna hit his canisters on his head here, because that does a lot of damage. As they blow up like that.
That canister on its belly.
I'm gonna be careful with my health here. There we go. Not the best fight in the world, but we made it through. It's very important you don't die there, because that allows us to do the next skip coming up here on All Mother. So keep in mind, the game still thinks we are doing the quest inside Zero Dawn, which allows us to do another skip here.
Wait.
Because normally doing the All Mother quest here, called the Heart of the Nora, you're not allowed to fast travel inside the Embrace. Normally you have to go through the Embrace right here, but because the game still thinks we're doing the Zero Dawn quest, we can actually fast travel inside the Embrace here. Which means we can start the Heart of the Nora quest inside the Embrace. So we don't have to ride from the outside in, skipping that entire ride. But of course, the game still thinks we are doing the Zero Dawn quest. And the way you get the game to, I guess, catch up to you is just by restarting from save. As soon as the loading screen is over. Restarting from save obviously places you at your last checkpoint, which was the campfire we just fast traveled to. So we're gonna spawn at this campfire, and now the game thinks, oh yeah, Heart of the Nora should be the quest that's active. So that now spawns in all the enemies that are supposed to be here, of course.
On me. Smashed through.
Now we just have to go through all the enemies to get up to the top of the mountain here. So now we just started this quest already inside the Embrace here. That's what the new skip does. And I would have saved a good amount of time for it had it not been for that behemoth. The behemoth didn't go that well, but still need to put more practice into this new skip to get it more consistent. But coming up here is the Thunderjaw fight. So in this fight there are 2 cannons on the ground here you can actually pick up. And we're just gonna pick up this cannon and just start shooting at the behemoth here. Or, sorry, the Thunderjaw. I'm gonna try to hit his heart here, because that does a lot more damage. And then once the magazine is empty, we'll go to the second cannon. You probably noticed during the fight there that I was moving towards the second cannon while shooting the first one. And this is not good. The Thunderjaw here landed in front of me, because I need to kill all the Eclipse here as well. Is that it? Yeah, it is. And we still didn't get anything useful from the Thunderjaw, so our coil RNG has been absolute shit, to put it bluntly. There's no other way to put it than it's been terrible. Oh well. I'll get over it. Of course, in a marathon run you get marathon luck, which means worst possible RNG. Right. By the way, going through this hallway, I'm gonna hug the right side here, so Resh is the one that speaks. If you hug the left side, Tep is gonna speak instead.
So, have you?
And the matriarchs here won't talk to you until the dialogue is over with either Resh or Tep. And Resh's dialogue is just a lot faster.
Figured I might be hearing from you. I never stopped.
So you hug the right side of the wall while you go down that hallway in order to get Resh to speak instead of Tep.
Looks like they didn't like
Because that way you speed up the matriarchs.
Identity confirmed. Entry authorized. Of course they hated it. Greetings, Dr. Sobek.
So now we're inside the Elkjaer facility here.
So, what was this place exactly?
Which is obviously the place Aloy was born.
Never realized.
And we're just gonna go in here and watch the cutscenes and then we can leave.
Identiscaling malfunction rectified. Completely live. Route 1 access unsealed.
Yeah, I'm gonna lose a lot of time here, but that time loss, because I skipped the split, that time loss is gonna be from the behemoth and not this fight. But yeah, the behemoth didn't go that well, but... So that's just a proof that I still need to practice a little bit more with the new skip. Because I think I forgot to mention is, doing this new skip, or confusing the game like that, that actually causes the AI of the behemoth to be different to what it normally would be. Then as soon as we're outside, we can fast travel to this campfire here. Because that's the closest one to the Borderlands quest, which is the next thing coming up. And by the way, we have to leave the All Mother Mountain there. For some reason, the game doesn't allow us to fast travel until we are outside. It's the only place on the run where the game is like that. But yeah, some places are just a little bit unique like that. Let's heal up now. Let's craft some arrows here and some freeze balls because we're gonna use those. The Borderlands is gonna be a little bit more tricky because again, our coils are absolute trash. Normally, so right now we have gotten 9 different purple coils to drop, and none of them have been useful. That is very uncommon to happen. But we have just been very unlucky in this run. But to be fair, if it weren't for the Watcher Heart, we would only be a minute behind right now. So even when you get terrible coils, you can, if you still play well, like I feel like I've been doing, besides the behemoth, everything has gone pretty well. So if you still play well in this run, like, the coil RNG or the weapon mod RNG is not gonna matter that much. It's just gonna be a little bit of an aid, but you can still, if you still play well, you're not gonna fall too far behind. The only thing was not getting the Watcher Heart is a disaster, because that obviously lost a minute. There's still one more chance to get some good purple weapon mods, which is inside Borderlands here. Because at the end of the Borderlands quest, there is a chest you can loot that always have 3 purple weapon mods. So that's our last chance of actually getting some good weapon mods. But of course, we're so far into the game at this point that it doesn't really matter. It does matter for the latter part of the game, but at this point, it's just been so bad that, you know, it's kind of like, what's the point? But let's just hope we get a damage or a handling coil here at the very end. Get a nice little bandage on our wounds for the game treating us so poorly in this run. Right here I'm gonna park my mount there in that very specific spot. Because that allows me to do a little skip when I get out of Borderlands here. So we just need to examine this guy. And also I can ignore the merchant right here, because I have enough fast travel packs. Normally I would go to that merchant if I was low on fast travel packs to get the free sample bucks. But we are good on fast travel packs, so we can just skip that guy. He's not gonna get any of our business today. And we can continue on to Borderlands. Not a lot of machines here. Normally there's a lot of machines there, but I guess not today. It's always nice when you just get a clear path here. Nothing obstructing your way here.
Slow and quiet does it.
And then of course coming up here to the Borderlands fight, there's gonna be a lot of enemies. We want to try and kill them as stealthy as possible, because we don't want these guys to move around a lot. Because they have a tendency to go in random spot and hide. And also, if we're spotted, these guys do a lot of damage. So, yeah. We don't want to be spotted, at least not too early. We're probably gonna get spotted no matter what, but we'll see. I'm killing the enemies in a very specific order here to... Let me just make sure I hit these shots. No.
Where's it coming?
Okay, as you can see, I'm hitting a lot of headshots here. I'm gonna play it safe with this guy or this girl. That was really bad. Try to play it safe and it still went poorly. That's my life. This guy has a lot of health, so I'm just gonna play it safe and lob some headshots at him here. Let's bring him down. And those guys here. I'm gonna use bombs. I don't have a lot of damage on my bow, so bombs are probably a little bit safer to go for. Careful, because now they do a lot of damage. There we go. You can see it just takes so much time to kill these guys when you just don't have coils. And the last guy here is gonna be behind this door. We're gonna freeze him here, because he has a lot of health here. And then try to pop some headshots into him while he's frozen to do maximum damage.
Ursa must be in there. We have to get through.
And that's it. That was not a pretty fight, but I tried my best to play it safe. Let's see here. Wow, nothing useful again. Wow, the game has really not been treating me very well this run. Out of 12 possible purple coils, nothing useful. So, if we don't count in my fast travel pack RNG, this is the worst possible RNG you could ever get. No watch your heart. No watch your heart. And out of the 12 purple weapon mods in this run, nothing has been useful. Not a single one has been useful. The only one that was useful was a freeze one for my freeze sling, but that one doesn't really matter. The most important thing is getting something you can use on your bow, but I just didn't get anything. So yeah. This is the worst case scenario in terms of RNG, so this is how bad it can go. So yeah, this is a good example of how bad it can go. And if this wasn't a submission run, I would have reset it a long time ago. But at least I've been playing well, so it doesn't look too bad. That's it. But yeah, this has not been pretty. Oh well, what can you do?
If you can hear me, please get help. By the sun, please help me. For the love of the sun, help me, please.
So I'm probably gonna use this run as an example of when people ask me, hey, why do you like New Game Plus more than any percent? This is why. I don't have to deal with this in New Game Plus. That's gonna be one of the main reasons. Anyway, we're coming up on Gaia Prime here.
The way to the mountain will be hard. Ferocious machines.
Right here, we're just gonna do a little bit of Skyriming up the mountain.
Not corrupted.
Because we don't want to use the normal climbing path, because that's slow. And we don't want to be mainstream, so we're gonna use our own path. Have to go against the system, of course. Right here, we're just gonna walk past all these enemies and hope they don't do too much damage, because I don't have anything to heal myself. So, please, don't hit me. Please. Looks like we're good, but let's not talk too soon here. This is only the first section of going up the mountain. We have to avoid all these enemies. Alright, the first couple didn't hit us. What about the second? Let's hope these guys are nicer. They haven't spotted me yet. Oh, there we go, they spotted me. I think? Oh? They might actually not have... Oh, there we go. Now I'm spotted. But yeah, I'm just targeting the right side of the mountain here because it's the fastest way to get up. There's an intended path, but I don't want to use that path. Not me. Skip the cutscene and whistle from mount, and then hope or hope the stormbird that's right above us doesn't hit us. On my mount. Go, 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 go. Don't hit me, don't hurt me. If you're gonna hit me, please be gentle. Ooh. That was close. Alright. Didn't get hit. And that was the machine part of Gaia Prime. The rest of the Gaia Prime here is, I guess, basically just movement. But we're gonna do a specific skip in here inside Gaia Prime to speed it up, because normally you just go in here, watch 2 holograms and leave. But no, that's too slow. We're gonna do a little bit to speed it up. Because we have a nice skip here that actually saves a good amount of time here now. So the first thing we need to do is go to the first hologram here.
Mind your footing.
So there's 2 holograms in here and we have to watch both of them. And after each hologram we need to talk to Silence. Which used to be the issue of why we couldn't get a skip to work in here, was the fact that we had to talk to Silence afterwards. But after a lot of trial and error, we have found a way to actually work around that. Because we're gonna abuse the checkpoint system in the game. So you're gonna see here. The first thing we need to do is of course get to the first hologram in order to start that. And if you remember from Grave Horde, we don't actually have to be in the room where the hologram is. We can just leave and go do something else. So we're gonna do that. But as soon as we activate the first hologram here coming up, we're gonna go to the second hologram and start that as well. So they both kind of run simultaneously. But we still have to talk to Silence after the hologram, so we can't just activate both and wait them out. But you'll see. So we activate the first hologram here. And now the important thing is to get to the second hologram before the first one ends. And you actually have quite a lot of time to do this. So I don't really have to go that fast. But the thing is, to get to the second hologram, we have to do a little bit of a skip, because you're not supposed to get there yet. And this skip can be a little bit tricky, but we're not technically under time pressure in terms of speedrunning. We just have to get there before the first one ends, so technically speaking, we have a couple of tries to get the skip to work. Then we are gonna climb up here. To get back to where we started here at Gaia Prime, and then we're gonna do the skip coming up right here that allows us to go to the second hologram, if I can jump up here instead of bunking on stuff. Okay. Like I said, this doesn't matter, because I just have to get there before the first one ends. Right here, we're gonna jump up here, turn around to jump onto this pillar, jump onto these things, jump onto this so we can get onto this plate right here. Then we are gonna walk to the edge of the plate so we can do a running jump to get up here. And then we're gonna grab these climbing spots. Normally you can't reach these climbing spots from below, but because of the skip we just did, we get enough height so we can grab them from above. And that allows us to go to the second hologram, because now we're entering the second hologram from the back. Oops. Oh my god, I'm messing up here. Like I said, this doesn't lose time. All that matters is you get to the second hologram before the first one ends.
The air rushed in from this side.
Because there was no.
So if you want to do some strats, I guess you could just wait for 30 seconds before even going for the second hologram, just to, I don't know, assert dominance or something. And then we leave this room and wait for the first hologram to finish. I will know the first hologram has finished when the objective in the top left corner changes. You'll see where it says view the hologram, that's gonna get crossed out. And as soon as that happens, I'm gonna restart from save. Because when the first hologram ends, I have to talk to Silence at the first hologram. And because the first hologram ends and changes the objective, the game then puts my checkpoint back at the first hologram. So when I restart from save, I'm sent back to the first hologram. And then we talk to Silence. And now, after we talk to Silence, of course the objective updates again. But because the second hologram is active, the game then tells itself, oh, the second hologram is active, so the checkpoint is now at the second hologram. And thereby, when I restart from save, we're gonna spawn at the second hologram. And what this skip does, it basically saves the time we have to go from the first hologram to the second hologram. Because we go to the second hologram while the first hologram plays. Instead of waiting for the first one to finish and then go. So that's the time save from it. So that's very nice. But we still have to watch the second hologram here, so we do get a nice little break before the end game starts.
Please, stop trying to access the system, okay? See, what this is about is, I said stop trying to access the goddamn system. What I'm trying to say is, I can't stop thinking about the ones who come after us. Those innocents.
So that's the way we abuse the checkpoint system here
And women.
inside Gaia Prime.
We're gonna give them knowledge?
To speed it up a little bit, because before we found that skip, this used to be like the most boring split in the entire run. Because you would just watch 2 holograms and that's it. And it would be, and obviously they take a while. So now at least there's a little more action to the split.
If we're willing to sacrifice.
It doesn't need to be like this.
It already is, Samina. I did it 3 minutes ago. I've purged Apollo. It's gone. All of it. Every copy.
A sacrifice? It's not a sacrifice. It's cultural obliteration, you crazy bastard. Millennia of culture.
I'm sorry. Really, I am. But sometimes, to protect innocence, innocents have to die.
Emergency alert. Planting policy.
And as soon as the hologram is over here, Silence gonna spawn and then we can talk to him. Once that's done, we can leave.
The world not a
We got the master override, and now we're gonna be on our way out of here. Gonna just drop down here.
Try not to fall to your death.
And then we're gonna use the scenery here to just get up a little faster instead of using the climbing paths. Because climbing is very slow, so if we can skip it, we'll skip it. Then we get back to the workshop here, and then we have to talk to Silence, and we can then go back to Meridian to finish off the game.
so
I'm taking.
oh.
Pick up the spear, and then we leave. Before we fast travel though, let's go into inventory and crafting. Go, and there we go. Now we to make sure we have the last files. Make sure we have the last fast travel packs we need. Now there's only 2 quests left, and if you remember from the beginning of the game, I said the main quest was split into 3 parts. We have so far completed 2 of them. We have completed all the quests about Aloy learning about the past. We have completed the Nora quest line, and now we just need to finish off the Oseram quest line with the durable attack here on Meridian. And once that's done, the last quest will unlock and we can complete the game. But first we have to go to the palace to start this quest, and then after that we are gonna go back into Meridian to a warehouse to disarm the bomb that Derval has placed. First we are gonna go up here and talk to Avard. And Aaron and Marad.
I've sent a message.
You know, the gang.
I'm glad she wouldn't tell him.
I'll let only. I'll meet
Aaron,
As soon as this conversation is over, we fast travel back to the campfire inside Meridian, because that's the closest we can get to the warehouse where the bomb is. And coming up here inside the warehouse, there's a thing we can do which is known as the blaze skip. Which is, you could either consider it a random skip or a very hard skip. Because you basically have to get two frame perfect inputs back to back. And the second input here has no
Is it a bomb?
Has no visual clue or audio clue.
big enough to kill us.
So notice here where it says not right now.
I'll shut up.
Right there, I managed to get the first part. Let's see the second one. Nope, didn't get the second one. So I didn't get the blaze skip. If I'd gotten it here, we would already be on our way back to the palace. But now we have to wait for
That's a
Aaron's
lot of
dialogue here.
blades.
If that
So
bomb
where it
does
says
explode,
triangle,
then
not
it'll be
right
just
now.
what Derval promised.
The prompt is actually active for like 1 to 2 frames.
Has the
Both of the triangle prompts upstairs.
There's got to be a way to stop it.
So you can actually, if you manage to press triangle during those short windows where they're active, you can actually do that without having to wait for Aaron's dialogue first. That's what we call the blaze skip. And depending on who the person you are, you could either consider that a skill-based trick or you can consider it luck.
Another one of Derval's hideout.
So yeah.
Derval did find a way into the palace.
Right here is another skip we're gonna do. We're gonna climb up here, because normally we have to climb around. Again, climbing is slow. I think you get that point already. Instead we're gonna skip half of the climbing and just drop down like that. And then coming up here is gonna be the Derval fight. Actually, I only have 1 health potion. So keep that in mind here for the end game. But yeah, first we have to kill Derval and his goons. So him and 2 guards. Also run, whatever. Let me loot this box to get some more health potions. Play it safe. And because we have very low damage here, we have to try my best to go for headshots here, because again I have terrible weapon mods, so my bow is pretty bad right now. And once both of those are dead, the Glinthawks are gonna spawn here. Which we can then kill by setting them on fire, which makes them fall to the ground. And then 2 bombs is enough to finish them off. Let's grab some more bombs. So those are the first 2 Glinthawks, then 4 more is gonna fly in from the city here. Let's see here if we can set them on fire while they get close to get them down. Because they're pretty hard to hit if they start flying around. Right here we can also hit them to freeze them like that, because they have some freezing stuff you can hit on their belly. I'm not sure what to call it in English, whatever. Guys should be down. And where's the last 2 guys? You're gonna take off. Fall down. Not the best fight here, but again, it's limited what you can do when you don't really have the calls to work with. Please fall down. And as you can see there, you want to be as close to Derval as possible when you finish off the last Glinthawk. Because as soon as the last Glinthawk is dead, you need to talk to Derval. So when you are fighting these Glinthawks, you also want to work your way back up that staircase, so that you're as close to Derval as possible when the last one dies. And because we finished the Derval quest as the last quest here, that also puts us right into the last quest immediately here. Those two quests actually ties together when you complete the Derval quest as the last quest before the final one.
Quietly does it. Panic in the city will only create another enemy.
So now we need to talk to Marat. Then we can fast travel back to Meridian. Because that's the faster way of getting to Olin's apartment. You need to go to sleep here in order to actually start the last quest. But as you can see in the left corner there, you can actually do a lot of optional stuff before you start the last quest. But as it says, it's optional, so we won't do it. One thing I'm just gonna quickly check. I really not have... I actually have a fire coil. Put that on. That's gonna help a little bit with Hades, I guess.
Did I leave anything unfinished?
So here's a bit of cutscenes here, and then one cutscene that's unskippable. So because my weapon mods are pretty bad, the Hades fight is gonna be pretty tough to do. The very last fight with the last Deathbringer. Because obviously I won't be able to do a lot of damage, because I don't have any damage mods. Or I don't have any purple damage mods. And also I don't have any purple handling mods, so I'm not gonna be able to shoot that fast. However, Ridge Defense and Healers are not really that dependent on mods, but we'll see how it goes. I'm at least gonna try my best to get the best out of these last 3 splits here. So yeah, as you can tell, the last quest is kind of split into 3 parts. Like, first we kill Helis, then we defend the Ridge, and then we go fight Hades. So the Helis fight here, the important thing we need to do is get to Helis as fast as possible and then freeze him. And then do as much damage as we can while he's frozen. And then we want him to chase us, so we can blow up some blaze barrels he's gonna run by. And if we do it correctly, we can do it pretty fast. And if it doesn't go that well, it can be very slow. We also have to be wary of our health here, because there's gonna be a lot of Eclipse soldiers next to Helis, and they can do quite a lot of damage if you're not careful. So, like I said, we're gonna get close to him, freeze him, then do as much damage as we can while he's frozen, and then try to get him to chase us. Because unfortunately, once he's not frozen anymore, he's really good at blocking arrows, so instead we're gonna try to use the blaze barrels to damage him.
Not this time.
So here we go. Helis is the guy with the big hat. You just saw him in the cutscene, of course. Got 1 headshot off. 2. Get another. And missed. Yeah, now he's moving around, so he's gonna start blocking us. Need him to chase us here, so come on, move.
Blocked again. Bridge can't take much more of this.
On. So he's chasing us down the staircase here, as you can see. And there we go. He's dead. Oh, open this door. And now onto Ridge Defense.
It's giving way.
Yeah, not the prettiest fight with Helis there, but again, I didn't have a lot of damage on my bow, so couldn't really do a lot of damage to him quickly there. Now, Ridge Defense here is a lot of machines gonna come towards us here. So, and we're gonna use this Oseram cannon to shoot at the guys here. For the Deathbringers here, I'm gonna aim at specific spots in the background to get as much damage as possible out of each shot.
Where do you need me?
So hopefully I can kill this guy before he starts shooting me here. I didn't do it fast enough. He's not dead yet. There we go. Should be enough. I still got another shot off. I'll kill the scrapper all the way in the back there, and then start aiming at the Ravager coming towards us. Wow, not the best shots here on the Ravager. There we go. As soon as the Ravager is dead, we can start firing at the Deathbringer over here. Because enemies kind of spawn in these waves here. Hopefully we can kill this guy before the next group spawns in, like this. Because then we can shoot at them while they're still kind of grouped together. And kill them quite a lot faster. Because I can hit the bellow bags here and get the bellow bags to set all the other machines on fire. So yeah, just trying to make sure we hit all the enemies. Here, of course, trying to aim a little bit in front of them so the shots doesn't so they kind of walk into the shots. Right here, while there's a break in the fight, we're just gonna make sure we craft ammo here that we're gonna need for Hades. And then I'm gonna start shooting at this spot here to get rid of the trees that are in the way. That way, when the Deathbringer spawns here in a sec, I'm not gonna hit the trees, but instead I'm gonna hit the Deathbringer. Now, hopefully I can kill this guy before the other machines here get close. That would be the best, but it doesn't look like I'm doing quite enough damage. I'm not doing at all enough. That was pretty bad. Oh well. So right here, I'm killing the small machines here before I start focusing on the Deathbringer again. Because killing the small machines here activates the next wave. The Deathbringer has nothing to do with the next wave. So I just want to focus on the small machines first there. And then finish off the Deathbringer, because now the Glinthawks are coming a bit faster. Because I killed the small machines first. So here, trying to take these guys out while they're still somewhat stationary. There we go. And then another Deathbringer is gonna spawn here as soon as the last Glinthawk dies. He didn't die, what? There we go. Whoops. Didn't do quite enough damage on that Glinthawk. And then I'm gonna shoot twice more at this Deathbringer here. That might not be enough to kill him, but enough to bring him very low while I focus on these guys. And hopefully that's gonna kill him, because there we go, and now all that's left is the Stormbird, which is gonna spawn in there. Let's go for some Kobe shots on him. And hit him while he gets close. And hit him here before he starts moving. And then it's a matter of, let's hope he doesn't shoot too much at us here. Can I pick it up, please? Wow. That's really bad, RNG. He's so low on health, but wow, stop. Wow, that's so bad. I have to finish him with my bow. I got really unlucky there. The shock or the electricity from the Stormbird can make you drop your Oseram cannon. And he just kept hitting me when I was picking it up, so yeah, I had to finish him off with my bow. He was so low on health. So yeah, that didn't go that well. The Stormbird I can just screw you pretty badly. And I have lost quite a lot of runs to that Stormbird over the almost 2 years I've been running this game. Oh well, let's finish off with the Hades fight here. So yeah, the endgame here has not been pretty, and I can already say now Hades is not gonna be pretty either. Because of the mods I have on my weapons. So not gonna be able to do a whole lot Hades in terms of damage, but see how it goes.
Mother, you survived. I thought you were killed.
The others.
The last fight here is gonna be the fight with Hades, which is basically a big Deathbringer that has a lot more health than other Deathbringers.
Marched on the spire, dragging that thing with them.
Take care of the others, Teb. I've gotta go.
But first we have to get for the fight here by walking through the broken down village here. Right here, there's gonna be this long leg here. Let's hope he doesn't hit us. He's not gonna do it. Good. Also, when you play this game, depending on which side quest you have completed, obviously we didn't complete anything in any percent run, but depending on the side quest you have completed, different people appear during this last segment here. You know, helping you with the final fight. But of course, since we didn't do any side quests, nobody appears here. Of the, you know, the people we have met throughout our journey. So if you want to see the people that can appear here, you should check out 100% run, because then more people are... or different people show up doing this journey up the mountain here. Do a little skip here that allows us to skip that climbing. Doing pretty low on potions here, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pick up some backup potions right next to these guys here before we go to the fight.
Easy.
Boxes here.
No holding back.
There we go. There's the potion.
Aloy.
Those boxes have some health potions. I'm a bit low on health potions, and yeah, like I said, this fight might not be that pretty, so let's see how it goes. And here we go. So now the Deathbringer is here. The first part of the fight here, there's no other enemies, so we can just focus on the Deathbringer. We only have to kill the Deathbringer to end the game. And time comes up as soon as we kill the last Deathbringer here. So right now I'm just setting him on fire again to get him to overheat. Just like we did in Gravehorde. So now he's overheated. Now the weak spots are exposed. And then we're gonna try to take them out as while he's still overheated. Because we want to do as much damage to him as we can before the other enemies spawn in. Because as soon as you have done a certain amount of enemy damage to this guy, more enemies are gonna spawn in. Here. Get some more weak spots exposed. Now the other enemies are spawning in. So now the Ravager here, I'm gonna try my best to get his cannon shot off, so I can use that on the Deathbringer. There we go, the cannon is off. I'll make sure I have health potions ready, because I'm gonna probably take a lot of damage. Come on, come on, come on. That's not good. I'm gonna kill the Ravager here, because he keeps fighting me. So now we can use his cannon here to deal a lot of damage. It's probably not gonna be enough to kill him. No, it's not. It's bad. Well, gonna have to finish him off with ours. There we go. So yeah, not the prettiest fight, but that's a GG. So that fight can just go a lot better if you have a bit better upgrades on your bow. But like I said, this run had the worst possible RNG you could ever get. So yeah, this run was just not meant to be, but we did finish it. And 223 is not terrible considering everything that happened. So I'll take it. But yeah, not a pretty run, but not much I can do when I don't get anything to work with. So yeah. Oh well. Maybe it will go better if we get to do this run at the marathon, but we'll see. Anyway, thanks for watching, and also people that watch this on YouTube. Hope you guys enjoyed it. A little bit of an in-depth commentary on the run. So yeah, I'm gonna let the last cutscenes here play out, and then yeah, I hope you guys have a good day.
Okay, Gaia. Sorry about that. Where was I?
You were telling a story.
Right. Yeah, so, like I was saying, it was a children's electronics kit, but I hacked the wiring to an auto battery and solar PV. So the grass caught fire. And, so did a tall pine that had stood there, I don't know, maybe 100 years.
Query. You were how old?
6. My mother was home, thank God, so she called the fire department, and after, she took me out to the lawn and showed me the dead baby birds, because there were nests in the pine tree.
Query. What did you feel?
I'm not sure. I remember yelling that I didn't care, and that's when my mother took my face in her hands and spoke.
Query. What did she say?
She said I had to care. She said, Elizabeth, being smart will count for nothing if you don't make the world better. You have to use your smarts to count for something. To serve life, not death.
You often tell stories of your mother, but you are childless.
I never had time. Guess it was for the best.
If you had had a child, Elizabeth, what would you have wished for him or her?
I guess I would have wanted her to be curious. And willful, unstoppable, even. But with enough compassion to heal the world. Just a little bit. Anyway, that's all I've got for now, Gaia. Time to tuck in.
I wish you a pleasant sleep, Elizabeth.
Thank you. I'll catch you tomorrow.